Morning, everybody. Got a late start today. Had to help my daughter with something. 8:45 a.m. February 27th. Welcome to my channel. Yesterday, we had a look above and fail. That's a balance rules. Balance rules. Okay? Now, I almost, and I'm pretty upset that when the market lifted up close to the previous week's, I think it's the highs. I could be wrong. I think that's what it was, right? In futures, I even told my community I might even short, like a swing position. Ugh, I'm so close to shorting. So close. And I was like, because the balance rules. Because the expected move now, when you have a look above and fail, is you go back to the balance lows. That's playing out right now. And right now, my entry would have been around 69. What would it have been? Around 69.25 or 26. 69.25 is where I wanted to short. Ugh. Boy, that's a lesson learned right there. Because that's worth the risk. Because this is generally what happens. And I told my community yesterday, I said, it might not happen today. Very rarely do you go a look above and fail, and then you go back. It's very rare because now longs are out of the market. Okay? So that's what we're doing. Now, this morning, another one that's hurting me is a Netflix. Netflix is back with $91. I was looking at that thing. I said I want to buy it at 75, and now it's at 92 because of the bidding war or whatever. So, not the greatest morning. All right, not the greatest morning. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's not waste time. I don't have a lot of time here. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steve Gonzalez. I use market profile and bond profile to find structure in the markets along with supply and demand. Gamma exposure levels of most traded price of the year, the month, the week, the previous day. That is my edge. Also use Anchor VLAPS, market internals, my bread and butter. Okay, weekly expected move indicator you can get for free on my Discord. Throw in a little ICT in there. That's what we have going for us in this community. Okay. Now, if you want to join me every morning, where I drop golden nuggets every day, you're going to subscribe and set that alert. All right. Give you the market story, the market news, the economic calendar, leaders and the laggards, technical analysis, and I give you the long and short trade scenarios, double basically in an hourly chart for candlestick fans, and then market profile and volume profile, long and short trade scenarios. Okay. Now, if you want more in-depth coverage, I go live every day on my Discord. Okay. That is Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. I do intraday commentary all day. Now, not sure if one of my community members and good friend of mine, Mr. Randall, yesterday, when I say let me be your indicator, and I regret not taking this myself, but there was a short to be had. He shorted the NASDAQ. I would have shorted the ES. Beautiful confluence when NVDA smashed into VWAP, rejected, and it was a beautiful short. I said out loud, this is a short. This has got to be a short right here. You swept this little balance that we were in, and it worked just as expected, just like balance rules do as well. Okay? So, let's move on to futures watch list. And there's a lot of things going on here. Okay, we're going to have volatility back again. We're going to be a negative gamma again. Okay? It just doesn't, this market doesn't cease to, no, that doesn't make sense. This market's just nuts. Okay? Notice, when we go low, we only go low for a little bit before the market gets bought up. We thought we were breaking out, right? Oh my God, we broke out. We finally did it. Fail. Yesterday, NVIDIA dropped like $15. It was up $200 pre-market the other day. It was at bottoming at 185, and 185 was the marker I was looking at yesterday. That was the monthly gamma flip point. 185 was the monthly gamma flip point in NVIDIA. And I was looking at that going, oh boy, that breaks. But I didn't think it would break yesterday. That was the trap. But now, NVIDIA, right now as we speak, is below that level. So NVIDIA is in negative gamma. And when I say negative gamma, I want you guys to understand something. Okay? This is all you need to understand. And I know at one point for myself, okay, let me just bring you to my Discord real quick in the Gamma Levels channel. And I give you the Gamma flip points every day. Now, right here, I give you a little primer on gamma exposure. Okay? Now, I give you 2 gamma levels, monthly and weekly gamma flip points every day. Okay? Monthly is the more powerful gamma flip point. Okay? You have a monthly gamma flip point for the week. And then when we get to the OPEX, right, I only really track the monthly because the monthly and the weekly is the same. Okay? Now, above the flip, this is where you have to understand positive gamma. Positive gamma. Okay? Dealers stabilize the market. They buy dips and sell rips. This creates a low volatility grinding trend. Notice when we got up, yes, the other day, the market was kind of stabilized. It wasn't like gyrating, right? Well, when you go below the flip point in negative gamma, dealers must hedge with the trend, selling as it drops. Okay? And I have to add here, this creates explosive volatility and fast flushes. Now, what I have to add here is not only do they sell as it drops, because they have to short with the market. That's the difference. Negative gamma, in order for dealers and market makers to hedge their position, if the market's dropping, they need to short with the market. So that increases the volatility. And guess what else? If the market starts lifting back up, they have to buy back and become buyers, which creates these large swings in price. Positive gamma, they are not going with the market. They go against the market. They sell rips and buy dips, which makes it less volatile. It's very important to understand this. Okay? It's not complex. I'm not trying to make it complex. Negative gamma equals volatility. Positive gamma, the volatility shrinks. It's all you need to know. Okay? Expect volatility today. Okay? Expect volatility. Back to the futures watch list. I know I just took a little detour, but let's go back. I just want to make sure everybody understands that, because look who's leading today, the VIX. VIX is up 13.47%. We're at a 21 VIX. This is going to be a big mover. Okay? Silver. I'm seeing that Iran talks are stalling or something. They haven't come to a deal. All right. Silver's up 5.62%. So silver's starting to creep back up. Now, I'm regretting not adding to my position because silver's wild. Crude up 3.74%. This is not going to be good for markets. Crude going up is not good. Gold up 0.78. 30-year bonds are being bought. People are buying safety. All right. Dollar's flat. 10-year yield is down. Under 4% yield. This is great for mortgage rates. People are maybe flying to safety a little bit. ES down 0.83. NASDAQ down almost 1%. The Dow is up down 1%. Russell is down 1.40%. Bitcoin down 1.84 and Ethereum down 3.22. Getting to the Mag 7 Plus now. This is making me cry. Okay, Netflix up 8%. Almost 9. This is making me cry. And I said to myself, just buy it. Buy a little bit at 70. I was at 74 and change. I was like, that's where you wanted to buy it. But I was like, I don't know about this merger. I'm not saying it's the dumbest thing because like I didn't know what was going to happen. But it probably was a smart thing to put a position on. And then here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, that is the lone leader because everything else is down. Now, let's get over to the 1%ers. Tesla down 1%. Meta down 1.40%. NVIDIA, like I said, in negative gamma, down 1.410%. AMD down 1.5%. JP Morgan down 2%. Microsoft down 2.17%. Broadcom down 2.55%. Well, now that's down there. Get Coinbase down over 2.5%. Let's go to the top sectors. You got Exxon catching a bid, 1.62. Chevron up 1.38 with crude, right? Mining up one. There you go. Safety plays. PepsiCo up 0.25. McDonald's safety play up 0.14. Not a lot. Walmart. All right. Now down 1%ers. Visa down 1%. Uber down 1.20. Caterpillar down 1.32. Palantir down 1.5%. GE Vernova, my baby, down 1.76. Oracle down 3%. My lord. Salesforce getting crushed. Okay. Salesforce getting crushed. Now, sectors. Energy. Energy is up 1.31. Crude is up, like I said. All right. Everything else is down. Let's go down to the big boys. Industrials down 0.68. Discretionary down 0.75. Financials down 1.31. Technology. So you have, let me explain it. The two heavyweights. Financials down 1.31. Technology down 1.5%. Semis down 1.64. Okay? That is not a good sign. At all. Okay? The heavyweights are down. Right? Get ready for volatility today. Get ready. Moving on. Moving on. We're going to go right to economic calendar because we did have some results coming. Boom. Here we are. Let's see here. So PPI, it's kind of weird. Usually PPI and CPI come out on the same week. I guess this week it didn't. All right, core PPI, let's look at that. All right, consensus was 3. Ooh, boy. Ooh. Core PPI year over year went up 0.3. Supposed to come in at 3. So producers are paying. Okay, I'm not sure if this is tariff. I don't know. I'm just saying it went up. Okay, producers. Let's go with the headline. Consensus 2.6 went up 0.3 as well. Now we have Chicago PMI. Okay. Chicago PMI at 9:45. 10 a.m. is not really that much, but 9:45 Chicago PMI. Be aware of that. Probably want to wait for this dust to settle a little bit. Probably want to wait for the dust to settle. Okay. Let's look at our Trump tracker here. Let's see if Trump's got something going on today. 7:28. So what is this? Let's see here. Okay, well, that's weird. All right, let's see today. In town pool call, all right. Out of town travel, all right. Nothing really Trump-wise. Nothing really with Trump. Okay. This is the thing that's killing me a little bit. All right, so let's see. NVDA, the most valuable company in the world, was the biggest weight on Wall Street on Thursday, sliding over 5%. Yep, I talked about that. Salesforce shares, on the other hand, gained despite, no, they're down this morning. So Netflix declines to raise Warner Brothers' offer. So that's what's going on there. Now, if we're going to zoom in, we're going to go to a little stock summary here. I'm going to try to be quick here. Try to be quick. Dell had earnings and look, they were good. Okay, so let's just look. Let's look. All right, Netflix. Yeah, it's killing me. You just talked about Block. Now, Block, do you think it's Jack Dorsey? That's his name. They ain't putting it in there, but they're laying off like almost 50% of their workforce. So stock surged 20%. The payments company said it will cut over 4,000 jobs, nearly half its workforce. Dell stock gained 12% after PC maker posted better than expected earnings. All right, let's see. Target stock fell 0.5. CoreWeave stock fell 11% after the cloud computing company reported a wider fourth quarter loss. Boy. What else here? Intuit stock fell 2.9 after the financial software company forecast third quarter profit below estimates. All right. Now let me just see this thing. Today wasn't refreshed. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is the whole Anthropic Claude. Let's see here. Pentagon Anthropic feud has sales and AI warfare at stake as Friday deadline looms. An explosive feud between the Pentagon and top artificial intelligence lab Anthropic is set to come to a head on Friday over concerns about how the military could use AI at war. The dispute barreling toward a deadline set by the Pentagon for resolution is widely seen as a referendum on how powerful AI could be deployed by the military and how its risks are managed. Told you about Jack Dorsey, okay? Meta signs multi-billion deal to rent Google AI chips. Wow. Wow. Okay. Dell expects AI server revenue to double in fiscal 2027. All right. And right here, let's see, before the bell, U.S. stock indexes drop with NASDAQ starting at steep monthly losses as technology stocks remain under pressure amid lingering artificial intelligence concerns. Okay. Let's look at crude. Meanwhile, oil prices rose, but we're on track to finish the week relatively flat as the U.S. and Iran extended nuclear talks, easing concerns over while OPEC could raise output. Yeah, it's interesting because they were not that. I don't know why crude otherwise is that ripped up, but that's what's going on. Okay, that's what's going on. Now let's go to the breath real quick. I always want to check in that breath. Smell that breath. So technology. Let me make sure this is accurate here. 47%. Okay. 47% on buy signals. That's middling. It's middling. It's probably worse now. But this is from the close of yesterday. 63%. Yeah, that's not nothing to be upset about yet. Let's do the 50. I think that's S. Boy, oh boy. There we go. I want this to be the 50. Let's see with that 66% of stocks over the 50-day moving average. That is not weak, but this morning probably weaker. Okay. So again, nothing really telling you besides software and tech, right? That's what's going on. Okay. Now, we are going to go, okay, into the internals for yesterday. Now, I have to be honest with you. This market, as of late, has been a pain in the ass. Okay? Now, let me explain. There's moves that have been happening like in pre-market. There's moves that happen like a slingshot off the open, which gives you no setup. Right? Like I'll have a bias and I'll be like, well, all right, there it goes. So I got to sit there and watch it even though I feel like it's going to continue to go higher. But that's not a setup. Okay? Yesterday, what happened? Right? Well, we went a look above and fail, and I was telling my community we should go down. As it's falling, boom, 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 there's barely any pullback for me to short. And I'm just like, here we go. Unbelievable. And then when you drop, put a tail in, I'm like, that could be the low. It was the low. I said, it's not ready yet. It's not ready to fall yet. And I said, look above and fail, it will go back to balance lows. Most likely that's its destination. The market looks like it wants that. Okay? Now, and internally, tech was the laggard. You can see it red. But the overall market was not that weak. So it could go down. It's the heaviest weight, right? 34%. But look, down, that was boom, 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 boom. Look at that. These are 5-minute candles. There's no pullback there. So, all right, great. Then you get the relief rally. And again, what happened here? No pullback. It just broke down. It just broke. There was nothing here to retracement, nothing. It just broke, and I was like, there's the short I thought about. And then when I'm saying to my community, there's a higher low, I said, I don't know. NVIDIA's at that 185 gamma flip point, monthly gamma flip point. I was like, this possibly might be along here. And then what happens? I believe they said the Iran and U.S. come to an agreement or whatever. They're on the right track. Next thing you know, boom. No pullback. No warning. Nothing. It's just going up. And I'm just like, you all right. This is not giving a lot of setups. I'm not a breakout trader, okay? So I'd like to see strength and then follow it. It's not happening, okay? This is pretty weak down here, but I was like, I don't know. I don't trust this at all. Okay. Ticks again. At this point, ticks were super red again, NASDAQ ticks, but then it changed with this explosive move, right? Okay. All right, let's move on to dailies, because dailies, we're gonna, like I said, I'm trying not to take too much time. I know I started late. It's 9:06 right now. All right, it's 9:06. Look at that friggin' range that I talked about. Remember, I said from no, well, this is well, we could go back all the way to here. About from the November 25th, we have done nothing. Nothing. Okay, nothing. That's why this market is crazy, schizophrenic every day. Look at that friggin' tail. Look at that. Every time this market sells off, it's like, oh, we're just gonna buy the dip, even though we failed a breakout. And look where we closed, right at last week's close. So at the end of yesterday's market, we did nothing for the week. Nothing. Nothing. It's crazy. Okay? Now, when you do that look above and fail, the expected move is down to 680. Where are we now? 683. The expected move should be down to 680. I would be very surprised if we don't touch that today. That's probabilities. Okay? No one's a fortune teller. That's probabilities. Where are we now? 683.40? We're right here. Gapping down. Right here. Destination should be here. Okay? Now I regret I was going to put a put on yesterday. I was going to short futures, and now I'm sitting here going, oh my God. Really? Really? But that's trading, right? Knowing your edge, right? Simple balance rules is an edge. Okay? I'm not giving you the right futures here. ES futures. Okay? ES futures. Look at that. Oh, look at that. What a trap. Expected move should be at least down to the 68.33s. 68.33s. We still see these three equal lows right there, 68.47s. That's what I said should get broken. Now you're more looking at possibly down to 68.33s. There's no longs here. They're just going to get stuffed. Okay? Qs. There you go. Look at this. This friggin' thing closed over every moving average. And that was like, boy, here we go. Here we go. It's a breakout. Nope. Boom. Right back into the middle of this range. And then where? You went right to Friday's close. Right above it. So again, nothing for the week. Now, where are we now? 603.80. 603.80. Actually, the NASDAQ is right at yesterday's lows. Okay, and futures is a little lower, but they're on the same path. Now, expected move. Where? 600 in the QQQ today. I would think we hit 600. Okay. Now, NASDAQ, boop, futures. Hit the year-to-date anchored VWAP, hit 50-day moving average, and failed. Now, look at the overnights. Beautiful. Came up to the 20, failed. Expected move down to the 246.64s. Okay, if you break that, maybe we go lower. This market can't get out of its own way. And it's funny now because what's happening now is AI thought about the AI bubble. AI thought about the AI bubble helping markets. Now the AI is hurting technology with the software, with the Anthropic Claude code. That's why cybersecurity has been getting torched, because now, so I just saw the other day with Claude, somebody made a Bloomberg terminal. I think they cost like $20,000 or $25,000. Somebody replicated it. Okay? It's just getting nuts. I'm hearing robots. I'm hearing a bunch of stuff. Elon Musk, a bunch of other people are saying there might be 20% unemployment in our future because all white-collar jobs are in trouble. Because if you're at a computer doing something manually, why can't a bot do that? Why? It's going to do it better. It doesn't need to be fed. It doesn't need medical benefits. It doesn't need, it could work overnight. You see what I mean? Like, it's like there's so much, I heard there's factories in China that are totally run by AI and robots, and the lights are off. You don't even need to have lights on. They don't need to see. It's crazy. All right? I don't know how far that is away from us, because like sometimes when you talk about this, like right now, when I was a kid watching the Jetsons, I was like, wow, are we going to have flying cars one day? I mean, we still don't feel like the Jetsons yet, right? I know there is flying stuff. I've seen it, but it's not like part of our transportation yet. Okay? All right, moving on to hourly charts. Okay? The future is really crazy. It really is crazy. I'm sure when my daughter's my age, I can't imagine what it's going to be like. It's going to be nuts. All right, why don't we get into the hourly charts now? I don't even know if anybody's watching me or not. Not sure if some of my fellas are watching me or I'm by myself. Doesn't matter. I do it anyway. All right. I know I started late. All right. So let's get into it. Let's start up this little marker of mine, and we'll analyze. I got another thing to tell you guys why I put certain things on my chart. Oh man, they never fail me. Never fail me. Okay. What do I have on my chart? Well, most traded price of the month, most traded price of the week. Okay. That is where the market was bouncing in between. And then it finally get a little relief, right? Now we're below ultimate balance. This is ultimate balance, folks. What does that mean? That just tells me what the beauty of that is. Okay, the beauty of that is it tells you that the most agreed upon price, if we would just average it 68.90 over the last month and week, is here. Right? So whenever you get in this area, it gets wacky, it gets noisy. Look. And now we're accepting price below here. Expected move should be down to 68.30, like I was just talking about. Okay? So very simple. What did we do? Balance, breakout, look above. Now you're back inside balance. This is why I want to short here. Okay? I'm still salty about it. When this move up, that gave you the premium. See how this came right up to the top of balance? This is where I was like, guys, yesterday, this does not usually go back up unless there's a news catalyst. And what happened? Whoop, boom, swing high, boom. Expected move is down to the lows of balance. Now, let me say this. It might have already had. That I'm looking at this, right? Because there was balance lows here. Now, if you talk about that, we might have did it. There is a couple of lows, swing lows here that kind of like, so you can kind of say we did it already. Now that I'm looking at it. Okay, now that I'm looking at it. Also, when you do a balance rules, okay, it's very bearish, and a lot of times what happens is you do a measured move. So if you take, this was the balance, right? A lot of times when you do a look above and fail, it's very bearish, and you then want to replicate that range. I know that's not exact. And you should go down double the balance width. That's called a measured move. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but that's generally, this is very bearish. I must have said that a million times yesterday. Gamma. There he is. There he is. Mr. Rand. Mr. Rand used me as his indicator yesterday, boy. And had a beautiful, beautiful short. Beautiful. That's why I say use me as your indicator when you aren't in my Discord. When I get excited. In that moment I said out loud, before it happened, hey, NVDA right here, we want to see a wick, a rejection, and look at the NASDAQ right in the balance area. You just swept it, liquidity, boom. You go to the other side of the balance, and my boy right here hit that short. I should have been in it. because that was probably my best confluence of the day. Okay, so NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ has not, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got like this balance here, right? Balance. And then you have like I said, it's like, okay, somebody might consider that the balance lows, but this is also some equal lows here. So you have, that's what I'm saying, okay? If you look at these lows, we almost went to it. Like I said, I would expect this market to do something like this and like this today. Longs are gone. They are not here anymore. There'll be weak longs that might make this happen. Whoop. And then roll. Okay? This is what we're looking at, folks. Remember, ultimate balance. Ultimate balance. We are accepting price below ultimate balance. Okay? So, if you were long, think about it. Oh, I'm loving it. Woohoo. Loving it. Right? Soon as you got that, a lot of people took profits. Then, new longs. Nope, sorry. They're gone. Then what do? Take care of all this weak structure. Boom. Done. Let's take care of more of the structure. Done. So it did its job yesterday. You see that? Market's very efficient. Boom. Oh, you want new longs? Okay. You want new longs? Okay. Gone. I'm telling you. Gone. Hope you get the point. Okay. Now the thing is, when you day trade, right, you're like a surgeon. So this looks very easy in retrospect, right? Oh man, that beautiful short here. That's not how it works. You all know that's not how it works. Now when you're day trading, we're talking about points here, and you could still be right and get stopped. Happens a lot. So sometimes, like today, like look at what's going on, right? We're just falling. What's I expect? This is what I expect. Okay? So today, and I'm going to do this in my community, I'm going to try to start giving my playbook inside the community. Okay? Meaning that even for myself, sometimes I forget. I sometimes forget. Okay? I sometimes forget. So even yesterday, I'll give you an example of a million ways to skin a cat. When this was falling, and I was like, oh, we're going to keep falling. Right? Boom, 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 right? When this is falling, let me explain. I have to tell myself, okay, what's my edge? I know that the market's going to keep falling, but if I want to go into a small time frame and try to figure out a short, I'm going to get stopped out. It's not a good thing. Okay? But what could I do? I could do an SPX call credit spread, which I sell a credit spread up here knowing that I don't think we're going to come back here. That would have paid off down here. That's number one. Number two, I could just short anywhere if I feel like it's going to fall, give myself 20, a 40 stop loss, 40-point stop loss, right? Or scale in. Just do one lot. As we move, add, and just bring my average price and trail it and just say, hey, I think it's going to fall, and that's the thing you have to try to do with being a trader. Like sometimes when you're trying to be exact, and you're like, that's why a lot of older traders say day trading is like insane, because like you have to be precise when a swing trader doesn't, right? You're not like, even yesterday, I could have been like, you know what, let me short here and go to the top of this range because I know balance rules. We just failed. And then right now, I'd be loving it. So just giving you that example, right? I don't need to go into scenarios because I just gave it to you. There's not a ton to talk about today. I'll go to it briefly. We'll just go to it briefly because I just told you what's going to happen. And my fear and what's been going on lately is that this market's just going to do it off the open or something. Okay? It's just going to do it. Which is going to, piss me off. It's just going to go right to the balance lows and I'm going to be like, great. Okay. Well, there's the move. It didn't give me any chance to get in there. Okay? So, here's what we're doing. We're gapping down. There's the lows from yesterday. So I might as well just do it real quick. Real quick. I'm going to do it really quickly. I'm short, right? We want to get short. Okay? My ultimate plan would be some type of gap fill. Hit the most traded price. Reject, retest, and then we go after those 68.30s. Because that's what I expect to move. Gravy on top is down to 68.10s, maybe 67.91s last week's lows. Okay? This is if we get super bearish. That's what I'm looking for. Okay? Do I have a long in mind? Now, if you want to try a long off the open, which you might get that sugar rush, maybe we do this, sweep the lows, come up, there's your long. Okay? Let's go to NASDAQ. Okay, in the NASDAQ, and remember, we got 945. Of course we have 945. Right? Let's screw with this more, because that's what happens. All right, now, shorts in the NASDAQ. Same thing. That's what's the beauty of this one. Gap fills right here, 286.62. You got the most traded price of the month here. I'm looking for what? Premium to sell into. I don't want to be caught up in here. If I get a nice rejection, we retest there. You want to take out the overnight lows and go target the bottom of this 247s. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. Okay? Longs. We're talking about longs here. All right? Longs, like I said, you could sweep the lows, come back into range. That's your long. I don't know how much more you get in there, and out of that. That's a pretty decent one. That's a pretty decent one. Okay? Look at this as like a big China wall. That is not going to be easy to just rip through. Okay? I'm hoping we get something like that. All right? That's it, folks. Smash that like button if you enjoyed my analysis. Okay, and as always, please join me every morning. Subscribe, set that alert. Give you the market story, the market news, the economic calendar. I just gave you long and short trade scenarios and the NASDAQ and the ES futures. Okay, now I'm going to go live today. Hope you join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Okay, I do not claim to be the best trader. Okay, but however, I will not steer you wrong with the technical analysis of the day. If there's cross currents, I'll be like, I don't know. This is, probably 950, 955, probably. All right. I will not steer you wrong. I know my boy right here, Documents, will tell you, hey, I'm just letting you know. There's a bullish fair value gap there. Hey, I'm just letting you know that's the most traded price of the week. Hey, I'm just letting you know we probably don't have much farther to go down here. Okay. I'm constantly steering that ship as the captain. I'm always on the side of caution of like, hey, listen, we just came a long way. You know, there's probably not a lot more left. Okay? But then when you use me, like Mr. Romano here, when I get, hey, this is happening, we probably do that. That's when you could probably use me and go, oh, you know what? I'm going to get in. Okay? So please do it. Now, everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend. Remember, no trades to trade. Hope everyone has a green day. Let's do it today, all right? Let's see if we get that scenario. All right, everybody, if I don't see you in my Discord, I'll see you guys Monday.